Joining the program now, we have multi-platinum recording artist Ted Nugent, whose claim to fame now seems to be crusading for the constitutional Second Amendment right to bear arms and trying to battle against Joe Biden's new mission on rewriting the gun control laws on a federal level in the wake of the tragedy here in Newtown, Connecticut. He's also star of the outdoor channel Spirit of the Wild. He is the author of the New York Times best-selling book, God, Guns, and Rock and Roll. Ted Nugent, welcome to the Peter Schiff Show.
Thanks, Peter. I feel welcome, but be sure you emphasize that I play the greasiest, sexiest, coolest guitar licks on planet Earth, and I do it every year for unsuspecting civilians around the world.
Yeah, that's what my brother said. I had him on, and he said I should describe you as a face-melting lead guitarist. Now, if only you can melt some of these liberals in Washington.
Believe me,
guitar.
Peter, have faith. I drive the left batty. My mere existence causes them much pain and anguish, so I couldn't be more proud.
Although I remember when I was a little kid, there was a cartoon called El Kabong, and he used to go around hitting people on the head with his guitar. So I wonder if we should ban guitars, because people could actually use a car and they can smash somebody on the head with it and they could kill them.
Well, we could go on and on about the virtual insanity of this Democrat, leftist, socialist, liberal cult of denial. But I think we really, and I salute you for bringing logic and truth to the forefront. That's what I dedicate my life to. I still tour like a man possessed with the world's greatest band, the greatest rhythm and blues and rock and roll, the greatest audiences every year. But I spend too much time with the heroes of the military, especially the heart-wrenching moments where we salute flag-draped coffins who have died because they sacrificed everything for the U.S. Constitution and what it stands for. It's as simple as that. And we have a government so out of control, so corrupt, so abusive of power, and so unjust and illogical and anti-American in their every thought and action that I am dedicated, along with more and more patriots across this country, to show respect for these heroes of the military that sacrificed everything for the Constitution while our government offends the Constitution that they've taken an oath and a vow to. So I'm just a we the people guy.
Yeah, and a lot of people that served in the military, when we fought, particularly in World War II, we fought against the Nazis in Germany, the Nazis in Italy. They banned guns. Hitler banned guns. Mussolini banned guns. The Soviets banned guns. Stalin banned guns. Mao Zedong banned guns. I mean, all these tyrants know that if you want to impose your tyranny on the people, you need to leave them defenseless. You need to disarm them, and the criminals know that too. I mean, probably the biggest proponents of gun control are the criminals. Just like the drug lords don't want drugs legalized because they want to maintain their drug profits, the criminals want as many of their potential victims defenseless so they have free rein to commit robberies and crimes without having to worry about getting shot.
Peter, I graduated from the University of Logic. I don't remember seeing you there, but obviously you have your diploma as well. So, yes, there's a lot of us that live by logic and the self-evident truth that bring quality of life, the greatest quality of life in the history of mankind. And again, I reference the sacred, the mighty United States Constitution as an outline of how common folks think and what is common and sensible. So this conversation and the importance of focusing on the right to keep and bear arms really is the deciding factor in America versus the rest of the world. If the people in power, Michael Bloomberg, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Eric gun-running Attorney General Holder, are you kidding me? When the people in power are dedicated flagrantly, blatantly, unflinchingly to force American citizens into unarmed helplessness, and that's their agenda. Pelosi, Boxer, Feinstein, Maxine Waters, Eric Holder, they're all on videotape. It isn't some magical Hollywood trick. These people are on film stating that they don't believe the Second Amendment guarantees American citizens the right to own firearms. Any firearms, Peter. These are dangerous people who want to force us into unarmed
and look at the facts. They all want to talk about Britain and they want to distort the facts. Why don't they ever want to talk about Switzerland? You know, Switzerland is one country that the Nazis couldn't invade because everybody was armed. You have more assault rifles in Switzerland by far per capita than we have in the United States. And they don't have a high murder rate. They're in Switzerland. They don't have mass killings in Switzerland.
You know, once again, I'm just a guitar player, so I like to keep things really simple, you know. so I stick with the facts, and I study the data. I look at the evidence. Certainly the Uniform Crime Report that comes out from the Federal Bureau of Investigation is equal in its conclusion as Scotland Yard, as all the university, even the UN Gun and Crime Study prove that where there are more citizens with more guns, particularly loaded guns on their person, as proven by the upgrade in concealed weapons reform over the years, where there are more guns in citizens' hands, not only does crime go down, not only does violent crime go down, but personal assaultive type crimes like rape, carjacking, and home invasion, they don't just go down, Peter, they go away. Why would you resist that obvious opportunity for upgrade and reduction of crime? It's because the Pelosi's and the Eric Holders and the Barack Obamas in the world, they don't want to save lives. They don't care about reducing crime. They are absolutely obsessed with their hatred for firearms and the freedom that goes with it.
They should make this a women's issue, because you have all these bleeding heart liberals, the women out there, they're always complaining, they want, but who benefits more from guns? Women. I mean, women pretty much have no chance against a guy if they're going to get attacked, assaulted, raped, because men are just going to, they're stronger than women unless the woman has a gun. And now she's got a shot. And in fact, one of the reasons that somebody might not attack a woman is because she might shoot him. But if they know that there's no chance of being shot, then the woman is defenseless.
Well, again, you're identifying, once again, the inescapable conclusion that everybody, when they're honest and they look at the statistics and all the investigations and reports and studies, it is gun-free zones. It is Barbara Boxer's dream. It is Dianne Feinstein's and Barack Obama's dream, called a gun-free zone, where the most innocent lives are slaughtered every time. Who is resisting this information?
Oh, and it's not gun-free because the criminals have the guns.
Have you noticed
it's a defenseless zone. It's where the victims are disarmed and the criminals are the only ones with guns. That's a gun-free zone.
Yeah, unarmed and helpless is an irresponsible and suicidal condition. If you believe that being unarmed and helpless is a desirable condition, then quite honestly, you have no soul. You must not respect the gift of life. You must not care about your family's lives, because if you are unarmed and helpless, you are unarmed and helpless.
I just thought of this. I think President Obama should lead by example and disarm his Secret Service protection.
Well, it's like Mayor Bloomberg. He forces New Yorkers into unarmed helplessness, but charges them tax dollars to pay for a full-time machine gun-toting security detail. Achtung, Mikey!
Yeah, look, why doesn't he just adopt gun-free? All these advocates that say we shouldn't have guns, just take away from their security details. In fact, I look at this.
It's great that you're exposing this, But again, I was there in California when Dianne Feinstein was fighting to end all firearms ownership, and she said no one should carry a gun. There's no reason for a citizen to carry a gun. We have the police and the 911. You can call 911 and get police to come to your aid. And then it was discovered that while she was railing to disarm California citizens, she had a permit to carry a .38, and it was on her at the time of her hypocrisy. This is the left. This is the Democrat Party. This is the Barack Obama gang. These people are soulless, hypocritical, dangerous, America-hating monsters.
Tell me what you really think of them.
Well, you've got to be kidding me. People go, well, that's awfully rhetorical, Ted. No, that would be accurate. If you study the actions, if you study the conduct and the policies. I mean, are you kidding me, Peter? You don't have to read this? You need to sign it? Are you kidding me? My band can take a contract like that.
Yeah, I looked at the statistics, and statistically, a police officer is just as likely to misuse his gun and use it in a crime as a civilian who has a carry permit. So if that's the case, why don't we disarm all the cops, right? Why don't we tell all the criminals that even the cops are defenseless?
Well, again, you're talking too logical, and I think there's going to be a new law that bans logic coming up real soon. I've always proposed, whether it's Rosie O'Donnell or Pierce Morgan or Anderson Cooper or any of these leftists that are in the media, I've asked them bluntly on their own programs, I'll tell you what, I'll stop all the drownings because I'm going to ban water. You can stop all the shootings and all the crime in Chicago, even though guns are already banned there. You ban the guns, I'll ban the water, and let's report every 30 days. That's how absurd this is. There are hundreds of millions of guns in America, and when a criminal wants a gun, he can make one or maybe just go to Mexico and get one of Eric Holder's guns.
Yeah, and you talk about logic. I mean, why should we expect our politicians to act logically when it comes to guns, when they act illogically when it comes to everything else? I mean, the one thing that you can say about U.S. politicians is at least they're consistent. They're consistently illogical. They're consistently wrong. They think with their emotions, not with their head. And it's all about what sounds good. And yes, there's a massacre in Newtown, and unfortunately, 20 innocent children are killed, and that's a terrible tragedy. But then what they do is they exploit that tragedy to advance this political agenda so they can act like they care so they can get reelected. But instead of actually doing something that would help the situation, because then now it doesn't sound like they care as much. If they want to use facts instead of emotion, then they're not going to score the political points that they're trying to. But we got a quick break. I want to talk to you a little bit too about the fact that you're from the entertainers, the performers, and almost uniformly these guys are lining up in lockstep to sign on to the ban the gun bandwagon. We need more people like you from that industry that actually have a soapbox to stand on to say something worth listening to. So we'll talk about that on the other side of this break. So stick around.